Privilege escalation tools. Why do we even use tools? Well, tools allow us to automate the reconnaissance that can identify potential privilege escalations. And while it's always important to understand what tools are doing, they are invaluable in a time-limited setting, such as an exam. In this course, we will mostly be using WinPeas and Seatbelt, though I'll also demo PowerUp and SharpUp. You are, of course, free to experiment with other tools and decide which you like. PowerUp and SharpUp are both great tools aimed at quickly finding common privilege escalation methods on Windows. PowerUp, as you might have guessed from the name, is written using PowerShell, while SharpUp is a compiled C# version of PowerUp, which is useful if PowerShell isn't available. You can download the tools from the link shown on the screen. In the case of SharpUp, you will need to compile the code or use a precompiled binary. In any case, all the tools I mention in this section are also available in the tools.zip archive that comes with the course. Note that both PowerUp and SharpUp are very limited enumeration tools. They try to find a subset of privilege escalation methods and are usually very good at this, but they should not be the only tool you run. To run PowerUp, we'll first need a PowerShell session. We'll then need to .source the PowerUp script, and then finally run the invoke-allchecks function. As you can see, it has found a number of misconfigurations. PowerUp also has a number of exploit functions, which can be used to perform the actual privilege escalation. In this course, we will focus on manually exploiting these privilege escalations and avoid using these abuse functions. We can run SharpUp either from a regular command line or a PowerShell session. As you can see, the output is similar to PowerUp. Seatbelt is an enumeration tool, and unlike PowerUp and SharpUp, it will, by default, output a lot of information about the current system. However, it does not actively search for privilege escalations, but rather lists information related to potential privilege escalation techniques, and leaves it up to you, the end user, to investigate further. Seatbelt is useful, however, as you can run individual enumeration checks, combinations of checks, or even all checks at once. If we run Seatbelt with no options, it will print out the help text. This lists all the checks that Seatbelt can perform. So, for example, if I just wanted to list non-standard services, I would run Seatbelt with the non-standard services option. Alternatively, if I run Seatbelt with the all option, it will run all enumeration checks. WinPeas is part of the Privilege Escalation Awesome Script Suite and is likely the most powerful tool we will use on this course. It will also be the main tool I'm going to use in my demos. This is because not only does it actively hunt for privilege escalations, but it highlights misconfigurations in red to draw your attention to them. It also allows you to run certain checks individually. Out of all the tools mentioned, WinPeas also seems to be the most maintained, which is another good reason to have it as the main tool in your arsenal. Before running WinPeas, add the following registry key, and then open a new command prompt. This enables colors, which will allow you to better notice misconfigurations. If you cannot add the registry key, you may still be able to view colors by running the script in a reverse shell on a Kali terminal, as this processes color codes. WinPeas runs a number of checks in different categories. Running WinPeas without specifying one will execute all the checks. However, for now, let's just run the user info check. Sometimes WinPs hangs at the end and doesn't return to the prompt. If you think this is happening, just press enter and you should get one back. Access Check is an old but trustworthy tool for checking access permissions. With it, you can check whether a certain user or group has permissions over a file, service, registry, or even a process. You can also list the full permissions for specific resources. The downside of Access Check is that on first use you must accept a EULA, which appears as a pop-up window. This is fine if you have access via RDP, but since a lot of the time we only have access via a shell, the version of Access Check that comes with the course is an older version, which has a command line option to accept the EULA.